How's it going? Shonen back here. Another Big 3 review. I hate my haircut. Let's not talk about it. So, just want to start off this week with One Piece 1039 because there's not too much to talk about, but it's One Piece, so there's always plenty to talk about. I want to go over this cover page real quick because we do get a literal Monkey King pointing Luffy in the direction of what I think is Laugh Tale. That's where I'm assuming that they're headed. Zoro, Sanji, and Nami each have something written on their shirts, which is pretty cute. Zoro has Always Stay Calm, Sanji has I Want Freedom, and Nami just simply has Odin on her shirt, which is cool. Cool little tidbit there. But yeah, the monkey talking to him, to Luffy and Chopper just make me think that, spin foil already on. Maybe what points them in the direction of Laugh Tale is a combination of, the voice of all things and maybe a message written by Joy Boy, because a literal monkey with a crown just makes me think, Monkey King or maybe Pirate King or something like that. And that's ultimately what's going to be left. Maybe, it's not a literal message left by Joy Boy on the poneglyphs, but if not that, I'm going to lock in my answer now that at the end of the day, the poneglyphs or the road poneglyphs were in some way, shape, or form written by Joy Boy, so they would technically be a message from him. Either way, no Germa 66 cover page, so no more spin foil there. I just move on to the chapter, which starts off with Momo surprisingly moving Onigashima by himself. And, I think at the very least it shows his competence with the flame clouds, with his control over the flame clouds, but also the obvious point of Kaido's about to go down. Obviously, his stamina draining, or him about to be done with this fight, is a big factor in why Momo's able to move on Onigashima right now. But still got to give him props because he's got it like slingshot, like wrapped around his back. He's literally holding Onigashima on his back, which is cute. I really enjoyed this 2v1 so far, but I feel so bad for Kid because this chapter kind of starts out with Law going, "Hey man, you're not really doing much work. You're just taking the credit for what I'm doing. I'm doing all the inner damage to Big Mom, and you're just hitting her afterwards, and it seems like you're doing things." So I already know the fandom's gonna kind of drag Kid for that. Well, they always drag Kid because Kid hasn't had a moment to himself. Maybe the end of this chapter will count as that, but we'll have to see. If Big Mom's not knocked out after it, people are really gonna give Kid a bunch of shit. And but yeah, even when Big Mom gets up here, she's just like, "Oh, Law's attacks are really dangerous. Like, he broke my bones from the inside." She has no mention of whether or not Kid is, she just keeps calling him a brat. But maybe at the end of the day, it could be a combo. Law's attacks from the inside make her vulnerable to attacks on the outside, and so Kid is actually doing plenty of damage to Big Mom as well. And Law is just, buttering her up, and that's what he's mad about, because he's like, well, even if you weren't here, I would be able to, I was going to use this point later, but, if Law had like 50% more stamina than he does now, then he'd be able to tact his way into Big Mom the same way that, Kid is. The Kid's pummeling power is what Law could use on his own with tact. He could just combo, get on the inside, and then get on the outside with it. But in this chapter, he gets on the outside first, tries to crush her, and then uses that as an opening to get inside her one more time. But yeah, it's not looking good for Kid because even Law's like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna bring out a hippo next, an elephant? And part of that just makes me think, oh wow, Oda's really messing with this Blackbeard tease, because apparently Blackbeard's a hippo, and we already have Zanisha, an elephant, on the scene. So maybe that's his way of foreshadowing. Like, look at this shot of Kid just looking at Law, realizing I am useless. I technically don't need to be here. He's got it covered. Maybe I should just spirit bomb, give him my energy real quick instead. Probably better use of my abilities. I'm kidding. I love Kid. I need Kid to have a good moment. It's the only reason why I'm complaining right now. Yeah. Anyway, it's just fun to get the banter between them. Kid's way less caring about control at the beginning, and then immediately flips when he's like, "Stop giving me orders." But it was just funny to see, like, for a split second, he was like, "Well, we have bigger fish to fry than who looks like the boss in this scenario. We have a whole Big Mom, so it's good to see that at least one of them understood the assignment." And speaking of assignment, Kid goes right out assigns a little north and south pole, brings Big Mom, sandwiches her back again, tries to hit her again, but it's Big Mom. She literally moves mountains, and she moves that whole stage, it seems like, whatever they attach to her, that whole piece of a building, and swaps back and counterattacks with what looks like Mother Caramel. Like, Hera didn't look like Mother Caramel to me before, but in this form, she kind of looks like her. And the fact that this attack is called Mother's Misery just doesn't sit well with me. It just makes me think Caramel. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just more spin foil. And yeah, like I said, if Law's stamina was increased by a little bit, this combo that he has with Kroom and Tact would basically serve as the same thing as Kroom and Kid. Maybe less so, but if that's the case, if buttering up Big Mom by attacking her from the inside makes her vulnerable to attacks on the outside, then he might have realized that by now, and he might have been able to just use it opposite. So just more stamina for Law means he will be on Yonko level, I think, even without the use of like advanced armament or advanced conquerors, because this goes to show, man. Like, imagine giving Law on top of what he has now. He's already got a bypass to advanced armament and advanced conquerors by being able to use Kroom. So if you give him more stamina so that he could use Kroom more times in a battle, and then you give him just armament, just so that he can, like, whenever he does use Tact, he can make that building all armament and just smash an armament building onto someone. Yeah, I think he'd be Yonko level at that point. Kid, though, we'll need to see something from him. At least just to prove he's on Yonko level. We don't need to see anything more from him this fight other than that damned punk doing something, but I'll get to that in just a second. We did get some giant sword action, obviously, just not from the sword in the front of in the entrance, unfortunately. Law goes plus ultra and sort of puts it all on the line for Big Mom. You can see her like hitting herself, or like doing the King Kong thing, just trying to get Law off of her, and he's just like, nope, I'm not moving. Here's the sword. And he makes a hole, which can serve as one or two things. I was gonna say one of two things, but it actually can serve to be two things here. Sorry. We have a hole now where Kazunobori, whatever the hell name Kanjuro's going by right now, but we have a way to get the bombs out of the armory. And we also have a way, if Big Mom is still alive after this attack, if she's still not knocked out, we can throw her down there. Now, it's a reach on whether or not Kid is going to be able to assign a bomb and assign Big Mom again. Because, best case scenario would be, oh goodness gracious, she's still alive, and she goes in for an attack, and Kid sees the bombs being thrown out by Yamato, and he's like, hold on, let me get one of those. Assigns a bomb, throws it down there, assigns to Big Mom, and then she's automatically going down through that hole. And then that way, she's really done. She could be dead at that point, or knocked out for a lot of time, because she's still, I would guess, have to have enough years left in her soul focus to revive her or something like that. I don't see Big Mom dying this way, but at least being taken out of the fight for good. But yeah, that's best case scenario, is that two birds, one stone. Throw the bombs down there into that big old crater that's been created by Law. Throw Big Mom down there, and then do her Hidan style. Just blow up the hole and just see if she stays down there for good. But at least she'd be off the island at that point. And boom, fight's over. I think fight is done. I like damn Punk. Maybe Kid has enough in the tank to do that. I don't see any more big attacks coming from him. I feel like damn Punk, he said, was his trump card. So it should be his trump card. That should be his last move. And then everything else from here on should just be, obviously all of this is all improv, but maybe they see the opportunity below. But, again, maybe that would be just way too convenient for the situation for them to be able to see the armory and then see what Yamato's doing. But, hey, I wouldn't put it past Oda to make things very convenient without making them seem contrived, because it was a shock. When you saw Law's sword go through, at least when I read it, I wasn't like, oh wow, this is bullshit. This is so easy now for them. Like, no, like, we needed a way to get the bombs out. Now we have a way to get the bombs out. Yamato can obviously, stall. She could probably handle it by herself. But at the very least, bombs are out of the situation. Unfortunately, no explosion. I mean, then again, I did say last chapter that at least some of the bombs have to explode. But, I was afraid of that causing a ruckus for the rooftop. If they all explode in the armory, you take the underneath out of Onigashima, then the roof maybe collapses, and now we don't have a finish, a climax, or an ending to Luffy versus Kaido. But at least this way, the bombs do explode, which, Chekhov's gun, out of here. So, they do explode, they just don't explode where they're supposed to. And maybe they exploded at an important point. Maybe Big Mom lands in that crater, and when that gets exploded, there's a reveal. There's the road poneglyph hidden or something like that. It could still be used. Like like I said, it's not contrived, but it makes things so much more convenient. Like I still have hair issues. Why? I cut my hair short so that I wouldn't have to mess with it midstream. But whatever. Like it makes sense. This hole in the bottom of Onigashima makes sense. I like it a lot. With that being said, she's finally toppled. The language at the beginning of the chapter was like, hey, we rule. We've been ruling for so long. And now the language at the end of the chapter is like, yeah, your reign is over. So shut up. And it just makes me think this is over. This fight, we're not going to get another chapter covering it. Like I said, maybe we get something, Big Mom comes out of her knockout and it's just like, one more reach. And then that's when Kid's like, I've already assigned you and this bomb. Bye-bye. But I would only assume that's the case because, you obviously see the rubble behind Big Mom. You don't see that she goes through the hole. If Kid had shot her through the hole, then I wouldn't be having this conversation. But yeah, hopefully she's down for at least for good for the time being, and maybe we can knock her down to either the hole or maybe her crew. I'm really fixated on Big Mom going down the hole because they've been trying to get her off of the island for so long. Like they try to get her off of the rooftop. They did get her off of the rooftop, but they almost got her into the water. That didn't work out. And now it's like I just feel like, especially with Zoro having to up-B his way back onto the island, like there's been so many instances of people just trying to get blown off the island. Someone has to get blown off the island, and Big Mom just seems like the best candidate. Moving on though to Jujutsu Kaisen 174, Sendai Colony number 1. So I'm a little upset, but not really. We won't be getting a speed run of Yuta through Sendai Colony after all, and that just means we get more of Yuta. I'm not complaining. I don't mind being wrong about that because, we get to see him basically try to play the hero here. He's trying to escape some civilians who were too stupid to leave on their own. Maybe they didn't, heed the warning of the culling game rules, or they were just not quick enough. Who knows? But either way, you could see him trying to help some people out. And, we get a really important moment from Yuta here where he's trying to help someone. He tries to help all civilians, but one dies, and that's has an effect on him. Just goes to show he's not a piece of shit. But he also ponders to himself how, hey, we're gonna need to set at least 4 rules, or at least 4 more rules. I can't tell. I haven't gone back, but he's like at least 4 more rules here. So the first one definitely has to be travel through each of the colonies. And now that everyone's sort of done with their tasks, we're gonna need to be able to travel. Makes sense. I don't know why that wasn't something that was obvious to me before, but obviously they need to get to each other. I didn't realize that you were locked into that colony. I thought that once you defeated people in that colony and you were the last one standing, you can leave, but it seems like no, you're still gonna have to set the rule for that. And so he goes right on the attack, goes for or continues to go after the Bug Man, Million Ant Man, who reveals himself to actually be a Menos Grande from Bleach. And I like the design. He looks Kurourushi. No idea. Kudos to Kudo. He looks terrifying. I like his design. It's very simple. It's just black with creepy face, but just his sheer girth is what makes him terrifying here. It's just like, and then he doesn't really have a thought process. The narrator kind of explains his thought process, and the fact that he wants to devour Yuta is kind of scary to me. So yeah, the face-off panel, I love it. All of Yuta, I'm just all for it. I like the guy a lot. He's I can't wait to see the movie because I can't wait to see him as a main character, because this is the previous main character. I don't know, something about having the prequel lineup with the main manga and then having that prequel protagonist into play. Like, it feels like Jujutsu Kaisen doesn't have one main protagonist. It's like, it could either be Yuji, it could either be Megumi, it could be Nobara, it could either be Yuta, or obviously Gojo, or Sukuna. You know, you never know. Like, the manga does so well at just writing such strong characters that, you know, it doesn't feel like when they're in the spotlight for their chapters that they're just there for their chapters. It feels like, no, they could easily just be the main character of the story, which is awesome. You know, especially when Yuta, you know, shows his resolve here by saying, like, I'm gonna be the one to defeat Kenjaku. I'm gonna let Gojo do his thing. Like, it's stuff like that just really makes for good writing. Or it really shows out the good writing. But yeah, either way, it seems like Kurorushi was gonna be, or Kuro is gonna be quite the. I'm gonna say he's still gonna be easy in retrospect. He's going to make Yuta pull out some moves that he doesn't want to pull out, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, I don't see Yuta being on the verge of death like Megumi was here. I see this being like a warm-up. Oh, like, I actually have to try now against something. Especially if he has to protect people. Like, if he still has to worry about the people, then he's going to be at a disadvantage. Maybe he takes some hits from that. But if it's still this one-on-one, so long as the other two sorcerers don't join in, I see him, you know, this is an easy clear. And I know I did talk about him being 1v3, how he should be able to 1v3, especially if he's like second only to Gojo. But it seems like the other two sorcerers are working with each other here. And I still am not too clear on it, but it seems like they're talking over the phone by their dialogue bubbles. And if that's the case, and they get to sit back and watch Yuta's attacks and kind of analyze his fighting style before they go in, then it's going to be a harder 2v1 or 3v1 or something like that. But I doubt that they're going to join in with Kuro. I think they're going to wait till, you know, that battle's over to attack. And it seems like the Fester Life Blade is going to be the focus of the battle. So it sort of looks like Danzo's arm. But, you know, again, Yuta and Rika should be able to handle this. I think the biggest issue would just be fighting the other two afterwards. And, you know, last week, I did claim that was going to be a 1v3. I know I'm wrong, and I know I already went over that, but yeah, I think what was the other point I was going to make? Oh yeah, I forgot to look into this, but when I was rereading the Culling Game rules explanations, I think something was mentioned about an air sorcerer, like a sorcerer who can control the air, or just maybe like Tengen said something along the lines of like, hey, there are going to be weird sorcerers out there, even ones who can control the air, and then now we have a sorcerer who can control the air. Like, I didn't put that together, but I feel like that was something that was said. And I'm, you know, kind of on a time crunch because, as you can see, there's no Platinum End chapter this week. I'm running on E in terms of patience with this computer because it's not accepting videos. I don't even know if this one that I'm recording now is going to be acceptable. I'm off of the cinematic view because it seems like that's what's causing me issues right now. I should be able to still upload this video to my PC and then, you know, edit and then yada yada yada. But yeah, props to Yuta. Always love him. Always love to see things come out. But hopefully this air person is a sorcerer who's going to give us some, you know, has something to offer lore wise. Is going to give us something at least about ancient sorcerers. If not, you know, at least some type of context to what's going on. But at the very least, Kuro goes down. Maybe he has some points, enough points for Yuta to make another rule to, you know, establish a link between the colonies. Maybe he doesn't even have to fight the other two once he does that, because they're, you know, they're in a stalemate, and they won't be in a stalemate anymore if they can just leave. So, who knows? We'll see. Anyway, the final chapter this week, pretty quick. My Hero 132. We start out with the reveal that there are more moles in UA than we thought, and they were sent to cause disruption. And it just goes to show AFO has many layers to his planning. It's not just Aoyama he needs. He's got everyone else. And I don't know if that means they were there and they were fanning the flames before Ochako gave her speech, and that's what caused her to have to give her speech, or they're going to fan the flames after UA, the heroes leave. You know, they go to unspecified location. And, you know, based on what like this guy is saying, or like his face when he's admitting that they're playing into AFO's plans, it doesn't seem like he's a villain. It seems like he's someone who's just a hostage to AFO's bidding. And it's obvious shit. That's what AFO is all about. And after that, I'm kind of not going to go in order for this just because I want to make some points later. But we get the Ochako and Deku moment about saving people under AFO's control, which, just kind of adds to what these people are doing. They're moles, and they don't seem like they're willing moles. It seems like they have something over them. And it's just a nice moment. Good way to end the chapter, I believe. To almost end the chapter, because that's not how the chapter ended. It seems like Ochako's basically reinforcing her resolve by looking over the city, looking over the people whose lives have been destroyed, how she can protect them. That's when Deku pops in, kind of relates to her. She calls herself an oddball because the face that Himiko made when she told her, I'm going to have to take care of you if you keep being bad. It just goes to show that he can relate to her on a personal level, not just because they're heroes, but because they have the same resolve. And Shoto also exhibits the same resolve here, where he's like, he sort of sounds like Ace talking to Yamato, where he's like, I would like to have a drink with him. I would like to have dinner with this guy, if he likes being boiled type of shit. So, I think that's the theme of this chapter, is like, not just setup, but also pay attention to the little things that people are saying, because they're like little threads that are being connected. And hopefully this is the last setup chapter, because I'm done with setup chapters. I understand the war is coming, but if the next chapter is not the beginning of this operation, I'm gonna be hella annoyed, because at this point it's like you're trying to enter the final boss room and the game's like, are you sure you don't have any more side quests? And you're like, no, I don't care, I'm good, I'm at level. And it's like, are you 100%? And it's like, no, I just want to go, I want to go to the next section already. But yeah, they're talking, they have their own little thing going on. This is the closest that we're gonna get to a ship between them until the end, I guess. Maybe when we see a time skip and they're like, I still think Deku's dead at the end of the chapter, at the end of the series. Like, this is him, like his will or something like that, or him being a teacher and being powerless or some shit like that. But I don't know. For some reason, I feel like Deku's done at the end of the series. Either way, yeah, we kind of I want to go over some other points, which I have them listed here. So one, you gotta pay attention to the little things that are said in this chapter. Bakugo would do anything to get stronger, that including brushing his teeth. The heroes could use more free time. They're exhausted and running out of heroes by the second. And their stronghold is called Troy, which just makes me think the invasion is going to come from the inside. Maybe that has to do with the moles that are meant to disrupt the flow with inside. But I feel like if Gantomaki is not off-site, if he's not being kept off-site, then they are stupid. Because then that just means that you don't need to destroy the walls of UA to get into UA. You can just destroy the inside of UA from the inside. It's just the idea that this is called Troy just makes me think there's a Trojan horse, and that, if it's not going to be Aoyama, if they've already got him done, and it's not going to be Kurotsuchi because he's, they're both basically in prison, then it can't be a hero anymore. It's going to have to be a disruption, a villain within the inside who's already infiltrated. And, all that hype of like, look how strong the UA barrier is, yada, 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 will mean nothing if you don't need to destroy it to destroy the inside. So, yeah. On top of that, Tape Man gives some death flag, he waves his own death flag, sorry. And, just little things like that this chapter, just like little bubbles that could just be read over or, are sandwiched in between, regular things, just make me think these are the things I should have been paying attention to for a long time, because, they just seek to reinforce the character types that there are, but I feel like it's important now, right before the last battle. Everything that we're getting from everyone isn't just to further characterize them or further like remind the reader of like, hey, this is how this character is. It's meant to go, pay attention to this because this is how this character is and this is going to come into play soon. Something like that. So yeah, I think why not attack when the heroes get exhausted? Why not wait for them to be done with the patrol and then just cause that attack, rather than like attacking in 4 days time or like any day where like, they're the higher ups of UA believe already that one for all for one can attack at any moment. Why not attack at any moment, at the worst moment possible? So yeah, I think We need to get this operation. I'm probably not even coming up clearly anymore because I can keep going back. But yeah, why not attack at the most vulnerable moment? That's all I've really got. Like, there's nothing really to speculate on My Hero for me. All the reveals have been done, but maybe there's a lot to talk about once this war starts, which I hope it does next week. We don't get any Jujutsu Kaisen next week. Maybe One Piece is on break. I don't think it's on break. It didn't seem like it was on break. Let me see that one more time. That loud ass mouse scroll. Yeah, One Piece is not on break. Jujutsu Kaisen seems to be the only one. So we only got 2 chapters to cover next week. I'm very excited. So that's all I've got. I think this is honestly my best review. I think as pissed off as I am about not being able to do Platinum End, I'm just going to vent real quick. My computer keeps giving me issues. I wasn't able to upload that thing this week or on time. I would love to have done it yesterday. So many things got in the way, but I hope that's the only time I ever miss a week. It's like really killing me right now. Hopefully this is able to be uploaded. If not, I'm going to have to upload raw, no editing type of thing, and just upload straight from my phone type of thing. If I can't upload to my PC, then hopefully I can figure this thing out. But yeah, that's basically all I've got. Really upset not being able to do that. But good news is we won't have to worry about that for too long. Maybe I've figured out the key here. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I'm happy to get back on the train next week. I'm happy to, head out after this and go watch the new Attack on Titan episode. I was going to cover Attack on Titan, but I think that's something so personal to me, and I'm going to cry like a little bitch at the end of it that I'm just going to need to watch that off camera. I don't think I can do live reactions to anything of that. As big as it is and as good as it would be for the opportunity for my channel to grow, I think I'm in too deep. I will make Attack on Titan video at the end of it, but I don't think I'll be able to do reactions or covering it weekly. And so look out for that. One Piece theories are going to start dropping soon. I'm writing out scripts for a few things that I had. I just went to go rewatch some things, and it's so easy to make content on One Piece that it's just so much to talk about, so many theories to craft. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, man, just look out for more videos soon. I'm trying to get up to 3 a week this year, maybe 4. I think 3 is going to be my cap. Covering one seasonal anime, doing the big 3 reviews, and then doing a theory every week. Doesn't always have to be One Piece. I have a Death Note theory. Actually, before I started doing weekly reviews, I was just going to do a theory video on Death Note, and I'm going to save that for after Platinum End is over. I want to release a Platinum End video and then release a Death Note theory, and then the One Piece theories will also come in between that and after that as well. But yeah, hopefully everything is figured out. Hopefully. I'm really tired of this PC giving me troubles. I just have not been able to get videos from my phone to my computer to upload. So fingers crossed that this one makes it and that you can see this beautiful farewell. My name is Weekly Shonen, sending you all the love. Be safe, and have a great week. I'll see you next week.